Hi Cormac, this is the review of what you need to be working on between January 21st and January 28th for your pipe chanter lesson practice. So what we covered today in class was high A all the way down to low A, all right? And then we also practiced the transition from E to D. But before we do that, I want to take a little bit of time and talk about some things you need to be thinking of. Before you start, obviously you want your fingers straight, right? We talked about that. But also I want to make sure that you're touching the holes. The holes are touching your fingers on the second pad of your fingers. See how the fingers have the first pad, then this second one down. Most of the holes are going to be touching your pads right about here. A lot of people like to play way up there, and we don't want that. We want you further down. With the right hand, if we touch those pads, you can see the pinky finger on your right hand. Yeah, the top pad will have to touch that bottom hole, but that's about the only one, all right? So you want to make sure that. Number 2, I want you to make sure you're looking in a mirror to check these things, all right? Once you've had a chance to do that, what we want to do is do the scale going from high A down to low A, and I'll just do it nice and slowly. I want you to do it this slowly. If you want, you can play low G. That can be a tricky one. Then you go back up from low A. All right. I want you to practice that with the recording if you can, or on your own. The other thing that I want to make sure you can do is the transition from E to D. This is a hard transition because there's a lot of fingers moving. And what I want to make sure you're doing is while you're in the E position, you lift up the D fingers a little bit before you actually bring that finger down. So it's going to go like this. There's a little delay. That will go away as you get faster, but for now I want to make sure you do that so you don't get a crossing sound, which sounds like this. We don't want that, okay? So transition from E to D. And when you go back up from D to E, you want to lift up the E finger before you bring these fingers down. So it looks like this. And you'll never make a crossing sound if you do that. The last thing I want to make sure to check, 2 things, is that the sole of your chanter is on its surface and that your right thumb is actually touching the back of the chanter. It should be pretty much lined up with your pointer finger. At class today, you tried to have it off, and it makes it really hard. So please do all of those things this week and follow along with the recording if you'd like, and we'll see you next week.